Okay, you should be able to hear me now. Is it? Okay. Hello, hello. Yeah. है ना? Okay. Yeah. Also, it takes about 5 minutes. I have been told that it's yeah. Okay. Perfect here. Okay. You know what? Before we move further, let's do one more sound check. Okay. In this view, okay. I'm trying to check. Yeah. I'm trying to do some things. Oh. Hello, hello. Don't worry. Okay. Let's do the sound check. Well, hello, hello. Hello. Hmm. In this one. Let me check this. Yeah. In this view, this one would work for sure, I know. In this one, this, okay, when we are at this view, yeah, audio capture, yeah, okay. Now tell me, are you guys able to hear me now? Like if you're when you're in this view. Yeah, guys, this is recorded always. ठीक है, चलो, okay. Now, for those of you who actually want to work with me in during this workshop, you can actually scan this QR code with your phone or camera or something, right? You will be getting one URL. Okay. In fact, I can actually send the URL here. Uh, Once you get that URL, you can actually open all of those things in your laptop. Oh, okay. Voice is going again. Okay. ठीक है. We'll come. We are sorting that out in 1 minute. In the meanwhile, let me give you one link if you guys want to follow along in the demo today. ठीक है? Let's see. Let's see. Mm-mm. Ooh. Okay. This is somewhere else. Yeah. In the meanwhile, you guys try to scan this QR and get that drive link, and then try to download it and also, yeah, put it in your system. Yeah, मैं कर रहा हूँ. I'll also share the URL quickly in the chat, okay? Let me also grab it. I forgot where I sent that URL. Hmm. Okay, this. Yeah, 1 second, guys. Yeah, okay. Found the link. Let me anyone with the link. Okay, yeah. Okay, I should have the link now. Oh, some nice person has pasted. Okay, let's move on quickly then. Amazing. Hmm. You guys are able to see me properly in here. I can see, but in this, my face gets cut. Okay. Hmm. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I feel like, okay, I think it's all good. ठीक है. I'm gonna start with the presentation and you guys let me know if I need to do anything else. Okay? ठीक है. The workshop is actually titled The Last Design System You Will Ever Build, and there is a very solid reason for this. The reason here is that I have been a design systems designer for 4 years, solid 4 years, where I've worked as a design systems designer dedicatedly. But I also believe that there is some change happening in the design system industry, and it's actually really important for all of us to understand. That change is we might not have we're reaching a world where we might not have to build a lot of design systems in the future. That's the thing, right? We might not have to build a lot of design systems in the future because there is some consolidation that is happening in the world. I mean, I can see a direction. Maybe future mein kya hoga we can't predict, but there is something happening and something interesting happening for sure. Now, because of that, I actually titled this The Last Design System You Will Ever Build. And in this, we're going to talk about how do you build a headless design system, or how is a headless design system built, and do you really need to build a design system, or there is a headless design system, you just need to understand it, and then you need to be able to use it accurately. Okay. Now, quickly in the chat, has anybody heard of design headless design systems already? S- Yeah. Let me know if you in the chat if you guys have heard of headless design systems already. Okay, Satyam is saying there is something weird in the voice. Okay. Mm, 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 mm. Hmm. Okay. No. ठीक है. चलो. Okay. For people who have not heard of headless design systems, this is really good. This is going in the perfect direction. ठीक है. So what we're going to do today in the workshop is I'm going to give you a mental model that's going to tell you how do you think about headless design systems. Then I'm also going to give you some sort of scaffolding, okay, which I have already shared in the Drive link, right? So that scaffolding is already there. You can play around it. Then I'm going to explain you about the token architecture, and then the demo that we're building, you'll take it home and you'll do it. Okay, you can do things on it on your own. Okay. Now, in general, there are three types of design systems. Okay, or let's just say three categories, I would say simply. Number one, there are single brand design systems. Okay, then there are multi brand design systems, and then there are also headless design systems. What is a single brand design system? A single brand design system is a design system where there is one product and that there is one design system. For example, if Zomato is the product, there is a design system which they have named as sushi. This design system is generally built to only serve Zomato product, right? Or Zomato app. One design system, one brand. This is a single brand design system. Then you have some multi-brand design systems. For example, let's say there is a company, PepsiCo को ले लेते हैं, right? PepsiCo is actually owning ITC, right? These companies own like so many brands like Nestle, Uncle Chips, all of those. Now imagine if you had to make a design system for them. You have one parent brand, but there are so many other brands, right? So many brands inside it, and you have to make a design system for it. That's actually multi-brand design system. And by the way, I have the second video on my channel that was ever posted goes into this single brand, multi-brand design system a lot deeper. Okay? But yeah, like you have multi-brand design systems too. And in multi-brand design systems also we have two categories. We'll come to it. Then there are third category of design systems which are called headless design systems. Headless design system, imagine headless meaning there is no head and we consider head to be the identity of somebody. So agar if I change my head and put Vansh ka head here, right? So I'll become Vansh, right? So it's like because head is themable. So headless means no theme, and that means the design system can be themed to make it look like any other product. That's the core. That's headless design system, which is this does not cater to any branding. This does not have any default theme. It can be themed to make it look like any other design system. Okay? Ah, I'm just bringing my face up a little bit. Cool. Okay. Now, oopsie, sorry. Yeah, chat played. Okay. Now let's go double click on multi-brand design system for one more minute. In multi-brand design system, there are two very interesting things that happen. Okay, and that is in multi-brand design system, there are three more categories. And to understand them, you should be knowing about this brand architecture framework. Okay, yeah, this will make it crystal clear to you. Where is it? Where is? Let me find a good example. Yeah, okay. Let's look at this example. Okay, this is a really good example. In fact, we can visit this website. Okay, okay. Yeah, we have this example here. So, inside multi-brand design systems, also there are three types of design systems. First category is called a branded house category. Second category is called a endorsed house category, or it is also called simply hybrid house category. And then you also have house of brands category. So there are three types of brand architectures. Okay. And this is important because when you're building a design system, what you're actually doing is you're just trying to understand this and build the design system accordingly. So, what is branded house? Branded house is when the branding of the parent is actually reflected in the child. Okay. When the branding of the parent is reflected in the child. Google is the best example of a branded house design system or a branded house brand architecture, by the way, because no matter what product you open at Google, they all look the same. So that's called, that means that they have organized your design system, their design system, sorry, in the branded house category. Then you have house of brands. House of brands क्या होता है? House of brands mean the parent, the parent brand, which is the main company, has a lot of child, right? A lot of smaller companies, but they don't need to follow the branding of the parent. यानी कि they don't need to look like the parent. ठीक है? PNG, like all of these FMCG companies are brilliant examples of house of brands architecture because you'll see one company called Procter and Gamble, but then you will see that they own these products called like Gillette, Tide, Old Spice, and the branding is not reflected in it at all, right? PNG is unique. All of these brands are unique. This is called a house of brands architecture. And then you have this endorsed brands or hybrid, where you see some things of the brand, right? Some things of the parent brand being reflected in the children and some not. Okay, so Coca-Cola is also a very good example where the core Coca-Cola and the Coke Zero, they kind of still follow some bit of branding of the parent, but Coca-Cola actually owns the entire cold drink industry. And none of the other brands follow Coca-Cola's branding. So that's also a hybrid house or an endorsed house architecture. Okay. Now, interesting thing here is that you might have to build one small design system sometimes, which is, let's just say, Zepto has one product, one design system. Zomato has one product, one design system. PhonePe has one product, one design system. That's like you might have to build a simple architecture, right? Single brand design system. But then the beauty of design systems and the talent of a design system designer is visible only when you can build a good multi-brand design system. Okay? And when you have to build a multi-brand design system, that's when you go and understand headless design system. ठीक है तो चलो I'm hoping that this intro was clear. This is the nerdy bit of design systems which most people don't get to learn. So I hope this information is helpful to you. Okay, now let's move ahead. I think we have understood this. Okay, we've understood this already. I'll come here because this slide is like the core of all my 4 years of design system understanding. Like if I can explain you this, I'll tell you that I have made you understood the crux, not crux, crux of design systems. Okay, somebody has asked a very good question. Interface anatomical content. Jatin, that content is already available in my one YouTube video. Okay. Now, Zepto and Zepto Cafe must be branded house? Yes. Very good question by Krish. Zepto and Zepto Cafe, the way we initially planned it, it was branded house. Eventually, we moved ahead, right? Eventually, we moved ahead. We kind of uh, got left and right. Thoda sa, we were exploring other colors also. I don't know what's going on there right now. It's been 6, 7 months that I have not worked there. So, yeah. Anyways, chalo. Now I want you all to understand this slide really, really well. So aram se, like leave everything and then focus on this. Ritik is like, can you repeat the previous part? Which previous part are you talking about, Ritik? Ritik Chakraborty. Which previous part? Ayush, iPad, iOS, Mac OS is also one. Yes, you could say that. Is there a difference between UI kit and design system? There's a big difference between UI kit and design system. UI kit was the older term for the initial set of components that you create, be it in Illustrator, be it in Photoshop. You can actually print it and keep it in your desk. But that initial, the bare minimum set of styles that have to be followed, right? When you're designing a product, that used to be called style guide. But eventually it evolved and became design system, because when you're building a design system, it exists the same on design and code. So it's like you start from a style guide or a UI kit, and then you make sure that it is built the same on design side and dev side, and then eventually, right? Then eventually, when you start maintaining it, governing it, the entire organization is aligned on it. You're like, okay, yes, this is the source of truth. Then, then you can say that, yeah, okay, we have moved from a UI kit to a design system. Okay, I'm not gonna go too much into your comments, okay, because I lose track. Shreya is asking, can you give other examples of endorsed house category? We saw one example, Virgin Mobile or Virgin America organization, and then the other would be Coke, Coca-Cola. If you look at all the brands of Coca-Cola, Google karo Coca-Cola brand architecture, then you'll get it. UI kit is a subset to design system. Yes, you could say. I would say UI kit is like the starting point of design systems, and then you eventually build a full-blown design system. DS looks like a chicken egg problem to me. Design system banakar design बनाए. That's a very good question. You go and watch the second video that I have in my channel. I have answered this there. Yeah, I've answered this there. Chalo. Now let's come to the meat. There are two important goals of design systems and then two core principles also of design systems. And again, we are understanding these things because these are exactly connected to headless design system. Chalo. What is the two goals of design system? First goal of design system is align the branding with the product. Okay, most people don't understand it well. If you look at Airtel Thanks app, okay, if you look at Airtel Thanks app currently, you may not really see the Airtel's actual brand identity being reflected there, because the last time I checked, Airtel Thanks app is based on like a lilac or a light purple color theme, which with the black color being used as CTA. But Airtel's core branding is red, white, and then accents of black. I've worked there, so I know. Okay, now ideally, if you have a parent brand, if you have the, or let's just say if you have a branding or a brand, right, it should be reflected in your product. Okay, PhonePe is doing a really good job in it. Okay, Zomato is doing a really good job in it. So it's like this is a missed opportunity, by the way. Okay, for products. So one of the first goals of design systems is it helps the designers and it helps the organization align the branding with the product. Why do we do it? The reason we do it is because of this, the goal number two, so that we can unify the experience of the product across all touch points. No matter how many touch points are there, it could be your phone app, it could be your website, it could be your social media creatives, it could be your reels, it could be your hoarding, right? The billboard that you have on the highway. All of those are the touch points through which users are interacting with your brand. And this is important. Once you understand that, okay, this is also a goal of design system, now you have a vision also for design systems. ठीक है, but vision पे नहीं जाते हैं, अभी basic समझते हैं. Which is number one, its goal is that it aligns branding with the product. So अगर marketing में you have a logo, you have a primary color, you have a typeface, right? It design system will help you align that with the product, how the product looks. Second goal is, when done well, design system will help you unify the product experience, which is how many touch points, or no matter how many touch points are there of the product, every touch point has the same experience. The best example of this principle number two is Apple. You see Apple's website, it looks the same as Apple's billboards. You see their thumbnails, you see their YouTube videos, no matter how many marketing collaterals or products you're interacting with, when it comes to Apple, they all literally seems to have one coherent experience. Okay, so Apple has basically achieved both the goals of the design system. Now, there are two also principles of design systems. Okay, two core principles, and that is first, you need to you need to establish a balance in design systems. Balance between what? Balance between consistency and standardization. Okay, and then you have to balance consistency and standardization on one hand with, on the other hand, flexibility and customization. ठीक है? ये क्या होता है exactly समझते हैं. I hope every time somebody says design systems, the first thing that comes to people's head is consistency. What is the goal of design system? To establish consistency. How many of you also think this way? Just write me that the primary goal of the design system is to establish consistency. Because I know I have been interacting with people, so I know that people do this. Okay, while you're typing, let me explain this. Okay, consistency and standardization क्या होता है? Consistency and standardization says that the product and the product experience should have some sort of similarity or uniformity as you're going from one feature to another feature, right? If you are opening phone pay, you're opening phone pay ka payment wala flow, which is the QR code scan and flow, and then you go to PhonePe's electricity bill payments flow, you go to PhonePe's gold SIP flow, or you go to insurance flow. All of them need to not look similar, but some sort of similarity, uniformity should be there, right? And we kind of take this similarity and uniformity as consistency, and this is good, right? It's just that this is not the sole goal of a design system. Consistency and standardization say that, you know what? Don't do too much drama in your product. Don't do unnecessary creativity in your product, right? Focus more on establishing a uniformity. On the other hand, flexibility and customization. Flexibility and customization will say, you know what? We should aim to allow designers to express their ideas creatively, right? We should be allowing our designers to express their ideas creatively. Now, when you are trying to do that, that is saying, okay, oh, you know what? Let some flexibility and customization be there in your design system. Now, now for the 236 people that are here, now I'm going to pose a question. Okay. This is, if you guys get it right, then you would have understood everything about design systems. Okay. And by the way, chill down on the chat, guys. Aram se. I'll take in questions later. Okay, if you keep on asking questions, Abhi, I'll not be able to take them. That's why put your questions when I'm asking for the Q&A. The question is, let's say all of you had the opportunity to become a design systems manager at Zepto, but you had to solve one challenge. You had to answer one question. If you're building a design system for Zepto, would you focus more on consistency and standardization or flexibility and customization? What would you focus on? Consistency or flexibility? Type in one of the keywords. This is a test of the audience. In the meanwhile, I can take questions. I mean, I can look at some things. Quickly, guys. Flexibility and customization, flexibility. Hmm. Consistency, flexibility, and customization. Okay. Visibility. There is no such thing as visibility in the parameters that we have. Consists. Okay. Hmm. Okay. There is. Okay. Interestingly, there is like a very 50-50 divide here. Okay. Somebody has written properly. We'll focus on consistency because if there's a new product, we don't want it to feel different, but also customization because the new product needs a new touch as well. Ah, good. Krish is getting it. Okay. So what I did in Zepto is we focused, let's just say if 50-50 means equal focus on consistency and standardization, flexibility and customization, we did 60% focus on flexibility and kind of 40% focus on consistency. Okay? It's like we made sure that some of the core components of the product will be consistent. When it comes to buttons, input fields, checkboxes, product card, sorry, right, alert, all of these standard components will be consistent and nobody can change it, right? No matter what, no matter who is demanding, no matter what PM is asking for a custom version, no, you can't change it so that we can protect the identity of the product. And then when it comes to us launching new and new things, because imagine Zepto is an e-commerce app. It's an app, it's literally a bazaar, right? It's a digital marketplace. And when you go to a market, you don't expect to see all the shops as same, right? You don't want all of them to look same so that you can decide which one do you want to go, which one looks premium, which one looks cheap, right? Zepto is similar. We are a digital marketplace. We keep on running different campaigns. There are different festivals all the time for which we have to do even more campaigns. And we need the ability to be able to theme the product or at least some portions of the product depending on what's going on, depending on what the market campaign is. And because of that, we need a good degree of flexibility. So the way we planned the Zepto design system is we built it majorly on consistency, let's just say 60%, but there was a strong angle of flexibility. And by the way, if you want to understand these things in even more detail, okay, you should enroll in interface anatomy. Yeah, we'll be launching Interface Anatomy in about, I think, in a few months again. Okay, you should enroll. Now, the principle number two, design system follows product. This is also really important because if you want to build high quality headless design systems or no matter what kind of design systems, you need to understand this. How many of you have tried to make a design system and then when you were making a design system, you ended up adding a few extra components in your design system, even though they were not absolutely required in your design system at the time. Let me know, comment me in the chat if you have done it. It could be a few variants to a button, it could be a few extra components completely, right? But how many of you have done this, right? That you've added a few extra components in your design system even though they were not needed. Yeah, only one person has typed in their name. Vinayak has done it. Okay, chalo, Nikhil has also done it. Okay. Now, why is it a problem? This is a problem because most of us want that in the ideal case, all that everything that we have in our design system should also exist in the dev, right? Should also exist in the developed version of the design system. Your Figma design system and your developed design system, there should be a parity in between these, right? All of us want that. Okay, yeah, we will have a storybook or we'll have a documentation website which will be exactly in sync with our Figma. But then, if you keep on adding these things, right? If you keep on adding extra things to your design system, even though they are not needed in the product. Question is, if they are not needed in the product, did you still add in some things because you liked them or you assumed that in future you might need it? Okay, that's the question. If it's needed in the system, if it's needed in the product, add it obviously. So the lesson here is in ideal case, a design system needs to follow the product. Only when something is needed in the product, then you add it in the design system. But again, even then, there is question, okay, where do you add it? How do you add it? Those things will be taught in our courses. Please feel free to check them out. Now, it's just that the important thing here is um, you. even as a design system designer, you're actually thinking like a product designer all the time. Okay, you're thinking like a product designer all the time. Why? Because the design systems role exists exactly at the center of UX design and development. You're bridging the gap. That is why you have to think like a product designer. ठीक है चलो, if you guys have understood these four things, right, the two goals and two core principles, give me a thumbs up, and then we will move to a live demo where all of these things will be clear, and then I'll take in all the questions. ठीक है, let me know if you guys have understood all of these things, which is the two goals, the two principles. Amazing. Okay. Let me, by the way, have you guys also downloaded those files that I shared? If you guys have downloaded, then you would love it even more, the live demo that I'm going to show you. ठीक है, awesome. अब हम करेंगे technical demo of seeing how all of this is done. Running it now in Codex, amazing. You can actually open it in any of your favorite coding tools. I'm opening it in anti-gravity, Codex. Also, you can use Claude Code. Any tool works. Now, once you have opened it, just go and prompt it to create a live server. Okay, like this. I just said I don't even want to understand how to create a live server. I've just said run the live server. It has created a live server. It would have given you a URL like this, right? It would be localhost and then something something. Okay. Once you guys have done it, okay, once you guys have opened it, go to this workshop file. Go to this workshop underscore guide.md, and in this, you should see this step one. Okay. In this, there is a prompt to give AI. I want you to copy all three of these and paste it here, but wait, paste it when I ask you to. Before that, we're going to inspect something. We're going to now start to understand what makes a design system headless. Now, how many of you are comfortable reading basic HTML and CSS? Because if you're not comfortable reading basic HTML and CSS, तो क्या designer बनेगा रे तू? 2026 में we designers have been forced to understand HTML and CSS, guys. Even if you don't like it, a little bit of knowledge would be good. Amazing. Okay. Yeah. Because once we understand this HTML and CSS, then things will become very easy. Okay. Chalo. Now, okay. Make sure to check your file, everybody. Okay. And see if things from this stage 2 onwards are greened out. Okay. If these are green, this means you're at the correct starting point. Okay. Now, how many of you remember such naming conventions, right? You know that we name our variables like this, right? We name our variables like this. This is this is the simplest form of naming convention. Okay? BTech graduate who Dhyata Mehta. Oh my God, Dhyata, you're amazing. Okay. So now, if you have seen these kind of naming conventions, right? Now, again, tell me, have you heard of this term called three-tier token structure? Three-tier token structure: base or primitive tokens, semantic tokens, and component tokens. Yeah. Mm. Also, Kumud, you asked for files. We have already pinned a comment. If you click the link on there, you would be able to get the files. Okay, and you just need to extract them and then open them in a coding editor. Some people have heard of it, some people have not heard of it. Okay, ठीक है. For those of you who have not heard of this, um, enroll in Interface Anatomy when it launches. For those of you who have heard of it, you should enroll in Product Anatomy because you are ready to take things to the next level. Chalo. Okay. This is basically this is uh, this is basically related to how you organize everything in your design system. Okay, and how you organize the fundamentals and foundations of everything in your design system. This is a slightly advanced workshop, I understand that. But koi baat nahi, if now you know what you don't know, okay, so you will go and research about token systems. Okay, so now imagine this is for those of you who know about base or primitive tokens. These are how your primitive tokens look like usually, right? This is how your primitive tokens look like. So, you know what? And by the way, yeah, यहाँ पर we have also also posted some semantic components, but they are commented out. Now we'll actually run the prompt number one, and then it will change a few things, and then we'll see. Okay. And by the way, make sure to see that this is all of these things are visible clearly. Okay. This screen will change in a few prompts, by the way. Okay. So this is one simple design system. Right now, what you're seeing, by the way, is a very typical, I would say, a single brand design system. Okay, what you're seeing here is a single brand design system. If you're literally building a single brand design system and you don't want to complicate it, you can actually build it using just the base or primitive tokens like this. Okay, now let me run the prompt. Open workshop guide, comment all four of those things. Okay, then I will run it here. Once I'm running this, I will see that this will start to change suddenly. Mhm, mhm, mhm. Okay. Once it's done, you will see that it will uncomment these and it will also change a few things here. If you look at this body, background color right now is color gray 100. Okay? Color gray 100. Let's see if it changes something here. Here, workshop header is color gray 900. Okay? By the time it's done, we'll see what changes here. Allow edits in the session. Will there be next interface anatomy cohort? Ritik, next interface anatomy cohort will be starting around, I think, August. Right now, we have product anatomy going on. So, in case you're interested in learning product thinking and design engineering basics, you can enroll in product thinking. Let's see, did it change? Did it change? What has happened so far? Okay, yeah, okay. Things are changing. Our prompt is still is in the process, but there are a few things that have happened. Okay. First, semantic tokens have been uncommented, and now you will see there is something happening here. We initially had colors like gray 100. Gray 100 is, as you can see, it's a very grayish light color. We can use it for background. But now we have something new. It's like a BG default, BG meaning background. This is a token, by the way. This is like background default. And then you have color gray 100, which is kind of going inside BG default. This is in tokens world, this is called chaining of tokens. Okay? This is what you can do in Figma also. In Figma was very late to actually incorporate this. This has been available in the CSS for a really long time. Sorry. Okay. Now what's happening is now we are creating semantic tokens, which is now we are taking one next step towards a headless design system. Now we are saying, you know what? Headless design system means there is no theme at all. It can be customized, however. That means when we say headless design has no theme, it does not mean it has no structure for a theme at all. It actually has the structure for a theme. It's just that the properties in that theme are very neutral. It is waiting for you to give it properties for that theme. So now what we're doing is we're starting to build a theme. Theme के लिए you need semantic tokens. What is semantic tokens? Semantic tokens actually means meaningful tokens. When I say red 500 or gray 100 200, it actually has no meaning. You can call a color gray 100 200, but you would not know, is it any helpful for us or not, is there any importance of it or not. You will only start to understand it once you start to give it some meaningful name. Meaningful names are these: background default, this is background surface, color 900 is text main or text primary, color 700 is text muted, right? These are meaningful names. When you create a collection of these meaningful names, you actually end up with a semantic layer that can also be called design language of the product. This is a slightly heavy thing, maybe for some to understand, but when we say this is not in our design language, we can't do this, right? A lot of the times you guys would have seen, or you guys would have said this in your teams. Okay, no, 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 this does not look like it's following our design language. But most of the times, we don't really know what's that our design language. Like, what is our design language? Because there is no documentation of it. Only when you start to make things like semantic tokens, right, or some of these meaningful tokens, styles, and variables, that's when you start to actually document your uh, design language. Okay? Chalo. Nothing has changed in the server after prompt 1? Yes, because prompt 1 has actually changed something inside the token structure. Okay? What it has changed is, come here, come here. Do you remember this body text? Initially, we saw that here we had color gray 100. Now we have a BG default color here. We have a meaningful token here. Initially, we had a very neutral base token. That is what has changed throughout this. If you come here, workshop header, there was a component called workshop header. Where is it? Where is it? Workshop header. Yeah, workshop header. Oh, there is no color here. There was something else, workshop header. I think it was this one. In this also, we had a base color initially, but now we have semantic colors everywhere. This change does not change anything in the output. Output still looks the same. It's just that now we are starting to technically rewire our tokens. Okay. And again, this workshop is a very smaller workshop, right? If we had like 2, 3 hours, I would have loved to explain you every single thing in this. It is actually so fascinating. Okay. So Now we're moving, right? Now we're making progress. Now quickly, let's go ahead and paste prompt number two. Okay, so this is stage two, stage one. Yeah, stage two. This prompt is pasted. Now you will see another prompt here. Take this prompt and paste this. Yeah, it will do something even more. And I will see how many of you actually stay till the end of the workshop, because this is clearly not entry level stuff, but I just want more and more young designers to be exposed to this so that you don't grow up thinking, "Ki, oh my God, design should be easy," right? Not everything in design is easy. There are some aspects of design that are very tough or very technical by just, right? So my focus is to give you awareness of the areas which are not talked about on YouTube. ठीक है. Satyam. Satyam is saying ke he's not getting the concept. Satyam, are you aware of the two-tier, three-tier token structure completely? Because what we're doing here is we are moving from a one-tier token structure to a two-tier token structure. ठीक है? And then the current prompt that I'm giving, it will uncomment this third tier and then also rewire things. ठीक है? This is the boring stuff of design systems that makes people smarter. See, now it has changed. It has now created more tokens. ठीक है? It has now created component level tokens. Govind Bohra. Let's wait till the end of the session once the once this thing is complete, and then I'll answer this. It's a very good question. Yeah. Prompt, prompt, prompt. Oh, Satyam, you have asked the tough question. I wish we were on a meeting and I would have loved to discuss it with you. Chalo, Satyam, the answer to your question. ठीक है? I'm gonna ask you a counter question and then you answer, and then things will start to be clearing up. And in the meanwhile, our prompt is working, so we can discuss. When you're maintaining a design system, right? When you're maintaining a design system, let's say you have the first version of a design system, and then 6 months later, ठीक है? 6 months later, your boss comes and says, "What is our primary color?" You tell them, "Primary color is purple 500." Okay. Your boss is asking, "Where have we used it?" Right? What are the places where we have used the primary color in uh, yeah, primary color in our product? You'll be like, "Sir, we have used it everywhere. We are using it in buttons. We are using it in tabs, active state. We are using it in checkbox. We are using it at the top bar." Okay. Now, the purple 500 has been used in like probably 500 places in your design system. Sorry, in your product. 500 places. Now, your boss is asking you to change some things. Okay? And remember, it is purple 500. If your boss says, you know what, today we are changing the primary color of our product to green, okay? And you have a green palette, and he's like, I like this 700 wala color. Now you have to go and change purple 500 to green 700 in all the 500 places where you have used it. Okay? And this is just level 1 of change. Okay? Level 1, which is you have to change something in your entire product. If you had another token called brand primary, in which you had used uske andar, right, inside it, if you had used purple 500, now you need to just change it in one place, which is from purple 500 brand primary will start talking to now green 700 rather than purple 500. Okay, one change and it will be reflected everywhere where you have used purple 500 as the brand primary color. Okay, this is just level 1. I'm coming to level 2 also. Okay, Satyam, ठीक है for you. Now, by the way, if you have run the prompt number 2, you will see this is also commented, and now you're seeing this button BG, button hover tokens. Okay, chalo. Now, even more complexity. And these are the real challenges that I have faced as a design systems designer. My boss comes to me and says, you know what? Um, I know our primary color is purple 500 and secondary color is green. I want our primary color to stay purple across the product. But I want to change all the buttons, right? Primary buttons only to green, which is your brand primary color will not be reflected in your button primary, which is exactly what we did in Zepto. Zepto ka primary color is purple, but Zepto buttons are pink, right? And pink is actually our secondary color. Now imagine if your boss comes to you one day and he's like, you know what? Everything is working fine. I want you to just find all the buttons, and in that button, just find only the primary buttons. And now they should change to not brand primary and but brand secondary. Now, if you don't have component level token, just imagine if there was one token which was controlling all the button primary ka background. You could just go there and link it to pink now. One change and it will be changed in all the buttons, right? And this is a component specific change, which means sometimes you might just need component specific changes in design systems. For those cases, it's better to have component specific tokens. Okay? That is why we have all of these things, right? We have all of these things. And again, I'm still dealing only in the single brand territory, by the way, guys. Okay, these are the complexities that you have to cater to when you're building a single brand design system. One important thing, and that is if you're a very young organization and your product is also at a very small scale, then you don't need any of this, right? You don't need any of these two tier, three tier. You can just keep on using the one single tier, right? The base tokens. It's totally okay for a small organization to stick to base tokens or tier one tokens, right? But if you want to learn, you need to know how to implement this. Number one. Number two, if you know that your organization is scaling, your product is scaling, and at some point you will have a lot of components, a big product, and you would need a mature design system, then you will have to come this way. Okay? Yeah, Satyam, it's very hard for us to chat here, so I'm really sorry. Okay? Yeah, man, Sushant, I know I have to explain this because you can see in the chat, so many people have not heard of it at all. You might have heard of it, I understand this, but not everybody knows this. And once, if you don't know these things, you can't actually go to headless levels. Okay? Now, If you have also ran the prompt number 2, now you can go ahead and run prompt number 3. Okay, because every time we're running prompts, right, you can see new components are being created. Sorry, new tokens are being created, which is uncommented, and then all the components that we have here, look, all of the things are also being rewired. Initially, when we came here, the background color for this was something different. Now it's something different. Okay. Now it is talking to, initially it was talking to our primitive tokens, then it was talking to our semantic tokens. Now it is talking to our component tokens. Now we are moving towards headless design systems. Okay. I think now we can quickly, let's see, prompt step 3. Okay. Prompt 4. Okay. You can actually run all of these prompts in one go. Now we're going to do one more thing, and that is we're going to start configuring Tailwind. Okay, so copy prompt number 4. Come to step number 4. Come here, press enter. Come here. Okay, step number 5. Copy, press enter. We are chaining the prompts. Okay, step number 4 will now install Tailwind. Step number 5 will install headless buttons. Sorry, sorry. We'll start building headless buttons using Radix UI. Okay, sorry. How do you build components? Okay, this is yes, this will create a button component. Which component will create कर देगा? Amazing. And then adding a headless drop down, okay, and a select dialog. ठीक है, इस पे भी आते हैं. Now what we are, step 3, did I miss step 3? Let's say step 1, we did this. Step 2, we did this. Oh, 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 oh. You're a genius, Sushant. Yeah, step 3. ठीक है, I think it should, yeah. I'll run this again. Step number 3. Okay. Now what are we doing? Um, Now we're turning all of these things, right? We're turning all of these things from static HTML CSS components to React components. Okay. And the way we are doing it is we already have a CSS file here. We have a lot of CSS variables, but these are like designed in the way we like. There is a component called Tailwind. Okay. That helps you organize tokens. Let's just say, okay, it does a lot of things. And right now we're creating a React project and then using and asking basically AI to use Tailwind to Tailwind as our CSS framework, and then it will take our variables and it will rename them based on Tailwind naming convention. Step number 3. Okay. So semantic tokens equals component specific tokens? No. Semantic tokens is the tier 2. Component tokens is tier 3. You use semantic tokens to create component tokens, component specific tokens. Yeah. Material design system is headless. Um, if you look at the core file that they give you, yes, Material is an extremely headless design system. Even though they are following a branded house architecture, but the way it is designed is it's headless. Please stop live server. Okay. Quickly, everyone, run this step number 3 ka prompt, step number 4 ka prompt, and step number 5 ka prompt. Okay. What it's gonna do is it's gonna turn your basic HTML, CSS applications and components into a React application. Then for CSS, it's gonna use Tailwind, and then it's gonna use Radix UI. Okay. And the core of this today's session is me leading you to Radix UI or ShadCN. Radix UI is a pre-built component library. Okay, Radix UI is a pre-built component library that is a headless design system, and ShadCN is built using Radix UI. How many of you have heard of ShatCN, by the way? While our prompts are working, how many of you have heard of ShatCN? Amazing. Type it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So ShatCN exactly है क्या? I could have I did not need to do this entire session. I could have just told you that, you know what? Um, Go and use ShadCN because it's the best design system. It is built on Radix UI and it is absolutely headless. Okay. Um, but you would not know anything behind it. And you would still not understand a few things. The moment I'm done with the prompt number seven, step number seven, then suddenly everything will start to make sense. That is why I'm quickly giving these prompts and making sure this work is finished. Okay. You also can actually go ahead and give all the prompts one by one. Okay. The moment we reach the end, the moment we do step number seven, then things will start to make sense. Okay. So ShatCN is basically the answer to all the questions, which is ShatCN is a very well built uh, headless design system. Okay. And there is a reason that it is this popular because all of this thing that we were talking about, na, two tier, three tier, all of this, ShatCN actually has all of this built in. It's just that most people who are going to use ShatCN out of the box, once your product is scaling, yeah, once your product is scaling, it is okay to use it in uh, concept projects, etc., and give it some reference and let it figure out. The moment you're going to scale your product and move from a concept stage to product where the team is building that product, then all of these technicalities would help a lot. Amia is asking, मैं क्या पढ़ा रहा हूँ? Amia, मैं Amia or Amia Gujral, okay. We are discussing headless design systems. It's a slightly technical topic, and people are actually running these prompts. I've already shared everything with them. Okay, so Shant is asking, can you explain the value of step 4, like configure Tailwind with our custom CSS? Okay, see, when you're building something from scratch, okay, you need two things. One, you need a framework which can contain your tokens, and then you need actual tokens, right? Because your tokens are your theme. So when we say it configure Tailwind, we said, you know what? Bring the power of that framework into our system. Okay. And then we said with our custom CSS, meaning make sure to take our tokens and see this has deleted our file also, right? We said make sure to take our CSS and then turn it into headless style tokens, sorry, Tailwind style tokens, so that we can use it then in the Radix UI components. So it's like we are customizing the entire workflow brick by brick. I need the CSS, which is the tokens, to be customized properly, and then I want them to be linked to my ShatCN components or Radix UI components. So these are all two stages, and I'm doing these things step by step. If you just ask it to set up Tailwind, right, and you don't give it anything, if you don't give it any custom value, etc., right, it will just use whatever it has as a default. Because we had something from the beginning, we're trying to reuse it. Oh, it's taking a lot of time. You're a graphic designer. Yeah, bro, you can stay here. I mean, it might be a little technical for you. So, like, and we are already done with the core part. So, yeah. You may not understand a few things because we are a little ahead. You have missed the initial part. Radix UI is a pre-built component library, and ShardCN is a design system built using Radix UI. Yes, thank you for helping me out, man. Can we divide component level tokens into feedback and interactive categories? So if it's a button component input, will consume feedback tokens, alert, etc. will consume feedback tokens. Yes, you can do it. 100% you can do it in component. But just think about it. When you say feedback tokens, you're actually attaching meaning to it, right? You're attaching meaning to it, to a token. So it would be much better if you create feedback tokens in your semantic layers and then use them in your alert component tokens, toast component tokens. That's the accurate way. Okay? Because then every tier will have its own purpose. The moment you said, okay, this is feedback and interactive category, right? You're actually immediately attaching meaning to it, and semantic is meaning. Okay? Kirti is asking, so we can use shared CN design system in our project directly, and we can build headless design system from scratch, knowing basics. Yes, shared CN is a headless design system. You just need to tell Claude to use shared CN, and it will bring that headless design system into your project. What we are trying to do is we are trying to understand some things. Again, quickly let's do this, and we'll come to the end, and then everything would start to make sense. Okay, make sure to do the step number 5. I'm redoing the step number 5 in case I something got weird at the beginning. Step number 5, 6, and 7. You can just put in all of these three prompts and let things finish, and then we will see some things will change. The moment everything is done, this page will change suddenly. Okay, you see this light mode, dark mode toggle. Oh, it's already starting to work now. Okay, things are already starting to work now. We have built up a playground, and there will be very interesting things coming up here, which will allow us an even more customizability. We're creating React components here. How can we use these in Figma? Do we create the components in Figma separately? Bro, we are creating a demo here. Don't overthink it. We're just trying to understand the basics of headless design systems by this demo. ठीक है? We don't need to use these in Figma. Figma में आराम से बना लो. हमारे पास में कुछ है ही क्या? We have just 5, 6 components here. Chill out. Can you please resend the links to the WhatsApp group? Okay. Somebody from my team will send it to you. I'm just looking for questions. In case you guys have any questions, let me know because this might take 2, 3 minutes. Yeah, see, step 4, 5, 6. It will take a few minutes. In the time, we can actually take in some questions also. हमारा headless design system is being built. Yeah. Shared scene currently has shifted to base UI due to limited functionality in Radix UI. Oh, when did this happen? I did not know about this. When did this happen? Shared scene migration to base UI. Again, let's do some Google searches while our prompts are working. Oh, as the core package, unlike Radix, which uses individual packages. Oh, oh, ho, 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 ho. Chassis and space moving from Radix UI to base UI. Interesting. When did this happen, yaar? Thanks for the info, man. I did not know this has happened. Okay. Unstyled UI component for building accessible user interfaces. Yeah, okay, interesting. Okay, let's see some components, huh? Ooh, okay. Hmm, cools. How Figma Code Connect features works with respect to design systems. Yeah, you guys are asking me, Yugal, you guys are asking me questions which are already available on YouTube. There are so many videos on this. I'll give you a quick summary of this. Code Connect is a feature to connect your Figma design system to your development design system. You have one button in your Figma which has five types, which is primary, secondary, success, warning, danger. Every type has five states, which is default, hover, loading, pressed, and disabled. Okay. Ideally, you also need to have the same button on your React coded library. Your developer also needs to build the button exactly similar. And then you connect them using Code Connect. Why? So that you can your Figma design is connected to your code design, which means now you can export that library, use it in Figma Make, create a design in Figma Make using your own design system, and it would have already written correct code for you or almost correct code for you because it is already connected to your own design system in the code. So it's like you link them once in Figma design and Figma code, sorry, design system, Figma design system and coded design system, you link them using Figma Code Connect, and then you can use cursor and create things in cursor and send them back to Figma, or you can create things in Figma and use them in cursor. It is useful there. I'm working on building an internal design system for my org. What's the approach follow? Okay. I'm taking reference from standard design systems. Yeah, please watch the second video that I have in my channel. Okay, it is a strategy video. So if you're building a design system, make sure you have the strategy sorted. That will cover the strategy. Okay. Approach generally, if you're building a design system for a product that is already running, you should be doing the audit first. Otherwise, if you have the flexibility to redesign everything, you can just set up a design system and start redesigning every screen one by one, and then ask the developers, okay, take this new design and start coding this. Okay. Is there a way we can take the updated components? One second, I just remembered. It's still working. Okay, it's still working, still working. Is there a way we can take the updated components and colors and styles, etc., and then create our design system in Figma, then proceed with the future designs based on that? We can take the updated components and colors and style, etc., and then create our design system in Figma. Um, I didn't understand. Like updated as in how did they get updated? Let's just start making a design system for a brand. How does my workflow look from scratch, including AI integration from our part in this workflow? Again, Krish, AI will come in a little later. Before that, you should understand the strategy. So again, please go back and watch that video. Okay, it's called Design System Masterclass Part 1 out of 5. I didn't post the Part 2. Um, AI is like incorporating AI is very different. Okay, it's not like कि we we turned on a tap and suddenly AI is coming out of it. Okay? If you don't know clearly why and when AI is needed, there is no clear answer to this. Okay? You can do this also, what we are doing. You can just set up a code library directly and then start building a product by prompting it. Right? What are we doing? We're actually just setting up ShatCN and all of this pre-built design system, and we will start giving prompts and it will start writing code. You can do that. But then that's not the best approach. There are so many other nuances here. So it doesn't work like that. You need to understand the core workflow of design systems first and then go there. Okay. Um, yeah. Okay. For product which doesn't have a proper design system, building it from scratch with Claude, defining primitives, etc. Yes, it's good. You are defining primitives. But yeah, yes, Chinmay, you're going correct. Can we just skip the Figma altogether and using IDE just make three-tier design system? Yes, you can. 100% you can. And you should try to do it. But I'm not saying that you can survive as a designer by skipping Figma. Okay? It's like you can skip that initial loop because we have a lot of the pre-built things. But the moment things get complicated. You have to design custom interactions, and if they are not working properly in AI, you'll have to come back to Figma. Okay? And even if you're setting a design system directly in code, you will not have anything in design. So you will have to use Figma code to canvas and send, basically you can create a design system in code, use Figma skills, code to canvas, and you can ask it to go back to your Figma file, create pages, and it will not create pages, but give it pages, and it will start creating Figma components for you. That's also easy. And we covered that process in interface anatomy. By the way, I've been talking a lot about interface anatomy. Let me also tell you guys about product anatomy in case you're not aware. Let's see, new server. Okay. Okay. Now let's see what we did today. Okay. Let's see what we did. We are at a very good point now. Okay. What have we done? We have created a playground here. Okay. You can see that we have a lot of components here. Then if you see here, we have some controls here. This demo is built to explain you what truly is a headless design system. A headless design system is an infinitely themable design system. Okay? What do I mean when I say it is an infinitely themable design system? Okay? We have some pre-built themes here, but in a headless design system, you can build as many themes as you want. I have built four themes by default. One light, then I have a dark theme. I click on it, everything changes. Then we have this cyberpunk theme because these themes are generated by AI, they look really weird. Then we have a new brutalist theme. Okay, you can see we have four themes. On top of these four themes, we have a radius counter. If you see, as I'm increasing the corner radius of all of these things is changing. Look at here. Zero, everything has zero radius. And as I'm increasing the radius, everything, is changing the radius. I've changed the radius of everything. I'm not saying that this is looking good. The question here is it possible to do such things? That's the question, right? Because in some product, you might need, when you're working as a designer, right? When you're working as a designer, in some product, zero corner radius might look good. In some corner radius, maybe something like 4 5 corner radius might look good. In some, 8 might look good. Similarly for border width, right? Sometimes you might need higher border widths. Sometimes you may not. Look at this primary color. I can change the primary color here, right? I can change these backgrounds too. Okay. All of these custom changes that I'm doing, right? One way is doing them without a system, the other way is doing them with a system. The the system that allows you to do all of this and a lot more is called a headless design system. And when you truly understand how to set up a headless design system, luckily for us today, we already have headless design systems pre-built, right? In the form of shared CN. I have been building headless design systems for 4 years. Today, we are lucky that we have a pre-built headless design system named shared CN and Radix and Base UI, all of these, right? But I've been building this. Once you know how a headless design system is supposed to work and all the power that it holds, you would stop building one-off design systems. You will stop building a single brand design system or multi-brand design systems. Headless is a way to build multi-brand design systems, but then you will approach things from the perspective of building headless design systems. Okay? This was the goal of today's workshop. That is, you realize that there is a new type of design system that is extremely possible, right? And that is extremely capable, right? And once you understand it, a lot of the things will become easy. Okay. Now, the only caveat here is I would not say that you should only build headless design systems, because design systems, number one, they are not helpful for every product, especially small products, right? Second, they are harder to maintain. So if you are only going to rely on ChatGPT and Claude to maintain your headless design system, after a few months, things might become weird. But if you truly want to understand design systems in depth, the goal should be to understand how do you build a headless design system. That was the purpose of this workshop and this demo, right? To demonstrate the power of headless design systems, how they are infinitely themable, right? How we can actually take up any value, any part, and tweak it to our liking. Right now, we are tweaking it via UI. Ideally, we are tweaking it via the CSS here. We can just come and change these values directly and theme it, or we can do what we did today. We can actually build something in Figma, export design tokens from there, and come here and ask AI to actually take our tokens and customize those tokens with Tailwind and turn our design system into headless, or customize our headless design system. Right? These are all the possibilities. My goal today was just to introduce you to all the possibilities that are there. Okay? Um, when I'm teaching interface anatomy, headless design system ideally appears in the 12th or 13th session out of a 15-16 session course, which is out of a 5 weeks course. Headless design system appears in week 4 or 5, which is at the last end, because before this, we people are learning all of this. But yeah, I wanted to do a senior workshop. I know some people may not have understood everything, but I know that I would have made you curious that now you will go in chat GPT and learn things on Claude ki ye kya hota hai, all of that. Uh, that was the goal. Okay. I'm taking questions now, so please type in your questions for the 134 people who are uh, extremely good students. In case you're interested in learning product thinking, guys, you should know that we have to 4 more days open for the enrollment in product thinking cohort. Okay. We already did 2 workshops for the product thinking, where we took one PhonePe problem statement. We took the problem statement of PhonePe Gold SIP, and how do you actually design it, all the business requirements that you need to address, all the constraints that could be there, etc. Right? Um, those are already there in the workshop. Okay, those 2 sessions are already there in the YouTube, so you can actually definitely watch there. In case you're somebody who is wanting to get into UX field and wants a good head start, then you should enroll in product anatomy. I think we have about 135 students um, total already. We might be able to take in 5, 7 more. So, and we'll be beginning in 4 to 5 days. Also, we have a scholarship. Yes, we are ready to teach 5 people in product anatomy for free. The course is 40,000 rupees. We are actually giving 2 lakh rupees worth of scholarship. So in case you feel like you're eligible for a scholarship, you have financial challenges, you should definitely apply for the scholarship. In case you're not, right? If you feel that you're actually totally capable of paying the fee, you should just enroll in the cohort. Okay? If you have questions about the cohort also, I would be very happy to take them. Okay? Let me see. Given this, what are the areas we can, as a designer, would still need developer help? Oh, a lot. Developers Developer don't just do basic front-end UI. What we are doing is ABCD of what a developer does. Just because we have also learned developer ABC does not mean we will not need developers. Okay? What we are doing is we are doing front-end UI coding. This is the simplest part of development. Simplest. Developers do scaling. Developers do real engineering. So developers are happier. Okay, developers don't like creating UI. Developers are happy that you are creating UI as a designer, and they can do the logic and complicated stuff. Why would we actually learn code part when we can do the same on Figma seamlessly on variables? Nikhil, I hope you are active online. I hope you are looking at the trends that are coming up. Okay, I hope you are aware that companies in India have heavily started migrating to AI-based workflows. I don't believe that every designer should code, but I'm telling you that a lot of the designers will have to learn code and do things in Figma, do things without Figma, because it is a faster way to do things. In Figma, generally everything takes time. And if you have been a designer for a few years, you would know that not everything that you're doing in Figma is the best use of a designer's time. And when you have AI where you can do these things a lot faster, you should be migrating. Figma was created 8 years ago, 10 years ago now, to solve a specific problem, which is the tools before Figma were even bad. But we as a creative should not be getting attached to a tool, right? We should not be getting attached to a tool. Our goal is to become a great designer. Figma is not the only tool to become a designer, right? Design can be done in code. Before Figma came in, up until 2010, 11, we were directly designing in code. That's why we had something like web design. It was not good, but that was the way to design. So please don't be attached to the tool. Okay, tools come and go. As AI is taking the job market, what would you suggest we learn? Product thinking or design system? Okay, if you know design foundations, then you can skip design systems. If you know decent enough design systems also, you can skip design systems and first focus more on product thinking. Why? You come to my course, I'll teach you design systems in 5 to 6 weeks. Product thinking takes a lot longer. Why? I can teach you the theory of product thinking in a few sessions, but you'll not understand it, right? Product thinking is a larger skill to build because you need a lot of experience. Design systems is a very technical skill. If I tell you all the tips and tricks and I make you do everything with one example, one time, two times, three times, you will be sorted. But product thinking is not like that. I cannot just ask you to create two, three products and you will be an expert in product thinking. No, you can be practicing product thinking for 20 years and you will still not be an expert in it. So, if you have time, you should first invest in product thinking because it will take longer. Design system can be plugged in, right? You can come anytime and learn design systems. Given all this, okay, yes, not editor might take the product anatomy course next time. Currently, I'm learning Figma basics and all. I mean, if that's the case, Dipanshu, you're doing the correct thing because product anatomy is a decently advanced course, right? If you are only when you have like some basic knowledge of some projects, some design you have done, then you will be able to enjoy प्रोडक्ट एनाटमी. मेरे पास कॉन्सेप्ट है, बस मैंने लास्ट कंपनी में नहीं किया ये सब, बट अब मैं सीख रहा हूँ और कोडिंग, तो अपने आप को एज अ डिजाइन इंजीनियर पोजीशन कर सकता हूँ क्या? प्लीज सुशांत, नो, नो. Just because you know basic basic coding using AI, you should not call yourself a design engineer. Okay, design engineering, like calling yourself a design engineer means you are a true engineer, meaning you can write things, do things without AI also. Okay, engineering is not dependent on AI. It's just that you can engineer designs now. Okay, design engineering is a very specific field. It's not just a designer who can also write some code with AI. That's just the step one in being a design engineer. You should continue in that on that path for 1 or 2 years, then you can maybe call yourself a design engineer. Why should we actually learn on code part when we could do the same? Okay, a beginner, I'm aware of product thinking, but not in the design system around detail. Enrolled in product detail. Really enrolled in product anatomy will help. Design systems are not covered in product anatomy. Product anatomy is a product thinking, data-driven design, understanding metrics, business, then doing the research, then designing the flows, right? It's that course. वो जो metric तुम लोग को हर case study में like people ask you for metrics, right? कि oh there are no metrics, there are no metrics. It's the course to learn that. How do you do metric-driven development? How do you do data-driven design? The issue with Figma is the coding language. It's written in HTML or compatible with HTML. The issue with Figma is the coding language it's written in is not compatible with HTML, CSS web pages that are written in. So without Code Connect, designers will need a developer by this side. Figma frontend is written in HTML, CSS itself. I mean, not in vanilla HTML, CSS, but they would have used some framework. Beta version of Figma agent is released. Can you create another workshop for headless design systems to explore how dynamic it is? Um, Maybe. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll definitely think about it. How to decide like which level we need, which level of token system. This is a good question, finally. So if you're doing a concept project, I would say, okay, let me tell you something. If you want to consider design system as a skill, right? If you want to showcase design system as a skill, at the very minimum, you should always have two tiers. Okay, two level token structure or two tier token structure. Only when you're building things for extreme customization, then you should have three tiers. Okay, if you want okay customization, two tiers is gonna solve most of the problems. One tier just means that you might have to change to a two-tier system any day. Should we take a basic front-end course to collaborate more seamlessly? Yes, there are so many uh, good courses of front-end available on YouTube. 100%. Should we learn interaction design too, given the changing market? Um, okay, Harshit, learning Jitter and Lottie and learning interaction design are two things. Okay. Just because you learned Jitter and Lottie and you understood how to animate a basic heart animation or something does not mean you're an interaction designer now. You just know interaction design basics. Interaction design also takes a lot of time to polish. Should you learn 100%? These days, the job market is getting so tough that you should learn every damn thing. Okay? Chalo, what companies are we looking forward? Well, companies are looking forward for developing their products in the next 3 to 5 years. यार थोड़ा सा broad question है यार मतलब it's very hard. Things keep on changing. Right now, every company is only focusing on AI adoption. ठीक है? And testing if they can build some part in the product which has AI in it so that they know whether AI is going to be helpful for them or not, whether they can train their teams or not. बहुत लंबा broad conversation है वो. Can you put on more light on agentic DS, where components have metadata linked to them to make AI understand your DS? Chinmay, we actually covered agentic design systems. We built an agentic design system in our cohort in the last two sessions once people understood how to build a non-agentic design system. Okay? Agentic design system is not a new type of design system. Making a normal design system agentic is the icing on cake. You need to focus more on the cake. In 2 3 months 4 months maybe I'll make a video on it, and yeah, you can watch it and then you can actually turn any design system into an agentic design system. Product anatomy will be helpful for a 3 years of experience. Venkatesh, I'm not sure which kind of companies you have worked in. Most people just take the number 3 year 4 year experience as a proof of authority. ठीक है? It depends on where you have spent your 3 years. If you have spent your 3 years on a heavy product centric org where you have worked with PMs under deadlines, did data driven development and design, then you're good to go. But if you have spent your 3 years in agencies, in smaller organizations where you have not really gotten to practice product thinking, then you should definitely come to product anatomy. Okay, product anatomy is designed for people who have not had the correct opportunity in their career to learn stuff. I'm not saying that product anatomy is the solution to world problems. It will solve world hunger or something, right? It's just that there are so many of us, right? So many of us who are self-taught designers. We don't get to learn good things. Why? Because YouTube does not have everything. Okay? And a lot of us keep on suffering for years and years until we land up in a good organization, luckily, and then our career picks up. But product anatomy is purely built to fill that gap, to make sure that you understand those principles today so that you don't have to wait. Someday you will stumble upon a good organization which will, you know, like your portfolio and give you a product thinking role. No, it's built so that you can fill that gap today in 10 weeks. Then after that, you do even more case studies, be in touch with me, And by the way, I maintain touch with my students after years of course completion. I'm still mentoring my students who are senior designers, lead designers today. They learned from me 5 years back. But yeah, so the goal is I get you initiated in product thinking. Because if you're looking around and you're hearing this word called taste, right? In the age of AI, when AI can do anything, right? The person with the best taste is going to be the best designer. How would you develop taste? Taste is not just you go and browsing Pinterest daily. Taste is you understanding product thinking, you understanding aesthetics, right? You understanding businesses, and then you're running a set of experiments, and those experiments, the results of those experiments are going to build your taste. Okay? Chalo, after interface and product anatomy, what is the next course? Ask this to understand what all skills we need to develop. I will have one more course which is visual anatomy, where we will be doing visual motion design, prototyping, all of this. It will be just geared on making things beautiful. So my things are going in order, right? Interface anatomy is the course where you can go and learn basics. And the way we build basics, I can challenge any course in the world that they don't cover things that deeply because we build basics from the perspective of design systems. That's why we go into a lot more detail. Then, second course is product thinking. We teach you product thinking, data-driven design, business fluency, etc. Third course becomes visual anatomy, which will come up in a few months. Then we might do a mini course on career building, which will be called career anatomy. So how do you position yourself? How do you create personal branding? How do you brand yourself? In fact, in a way that people are reaching out to you on LinkedIn. That will be the fourth course that we'll do, and that's a very big skill, by the way. Okay, I have been at a position by my hard work and by my luck that I have been reached out by the best and the best companies in the world. I have interviewed with them. I've worked with some of them. Couldn't work with a lot of them. Uh, but I've been through that process. Okay, purely because I had a very good brand to complement my skills. It was not just the skills, it was my brand to complement my skills uh, and bring my visibility up. तुषार फिग्मा और पेन पॉट कैसी बातें कर रहे हैं यार तुषार पेपर फिर भी ट्राई करके मतलब थोड़ा बहुत पेपर में मजा आएगा बट फिग्मा इज द गोट ठीक है what are the applications in real world when I was supposed to apply in startups too? You can just apply in startups anytime. There's no rule, right? As long as you're ready with your product thinking abilities, you can start applying in startups anytime. Otherwise, you'll get into a startup, but you'll just be like a UI designer. They will treat you like a UI designer because the way you think and the way they think about the product will not be matching, right? So if I possess product thinking and have no in-depth idea about technicalities, or the core of product designs or core of design systems make it scalable. Is there a course in the upcoming days where design system is taught? The course is called Interface Anatomy. It will be launching in September, I guess. Sarkar, Mr. Sarkar, M. Sarkar. Okay. Okay, yes, okay. आज जो हमने बनाया is there a way we can work with that in Figma or directly code level पे only it will help? No, no, this is just keep this as a demo, right? This was a demo to replicate headless design system capabilities. Okay, this was a specific demo. Don't try to push it to Figma. It won't be helpful. Product anatomy second will be in October, I guess. Yeah. Applied for the scholarship. Amazing. We'll review them very soon. Starting a product for my company, which is web and mobile app. Should I start the DS and make the components? Yes. Today, now when making design systems is that easy, everybody should absolutely start with the design systems. Okay. Chalo. Um, yes, Harshit, we're also wrapping up. Okay. Uh, ठीक है, guys. I hope you guys learned something. Yeah. One more question came. Zero to one experience. Will product anatomy help or too early? If you have built two, three projects, you're good to go because we're going to cover a lot of basics. If you're at zero, then it will not be helpful because you'll be struggling. If you're ready to work hard, then even if you're at zero, it would be good because we have like so much of curriculum. We have 20, 25 hours of recording also, right? So then it will help. It helps when you're not at zero. Even if you're at level one or two, it's going to be helpful. ठीक है? चलो, last time, can you briefly define headless design system? Headless design systems are infinitely themable design systems. You can give them the shape and size of anything you like. The core behind a design system being headless is design tokens. That is why we focused heavily on design tokens today. ठीक है? Headless design systems are headless because of the tokens, not because the components. The components are the same. Right now, do you have only one course? Yes, Anshika, I try to run my courses alone. I don't have any instructors, etc. So that's why I prefer doing one course at a time. Okay. Right now, in 4 days, 5 days, we're starting product anatomy. In a few months, we'll start interface anatomy again. Okay. चलो. हाँ यार इंटरव्यू ले रहे हैं मेरा सही में चलो guys. Okay, I think we are ready, we're good to go. ठीक है. If you guys are interested in enrolling for product anatomy, go to our website molecule.community. You'll find a page. You go and fill up the form. If you're interested in the scholarship, go to the reel, comment, get the form link, and then apply for the scholarship. ठीक है? We're going to be selecting 5 people. चलो. Bye bye guys. Hope you had fun. I know थोड़ा advanced था, but advanced चीजें पढ़ोगे नहीं तो advanced बनोगे कैसे, right? How will you become advanced if you are never exposed to advanced stuff? ठीक है? चलो. Bye bye guys.